Before we get into the video, just wanted to start this out. We just got a resupply of hats for the website HVACRvideos.com. So we've got beanies, hats, stickers, all available on the website. If you're interested in helping to support the channel, just head on over there to HVACRvideos.com and let's get on with this video. Well, this morning's call is that it is Monday, October 20th. And today's call is that the beer walking is too cold. I'd say so. 28 degrees is pretty cold in a beer walking. That's not good. So let's get this cover pulled off and see what's going on in here. This one has the Heatcraft QRC controller. So this is the predecessor to Intelligent. So let's open this up and see what we can figure out. Should have brought a sweater in here. All right, so it says it's off and it says it's 26 degrees in here. So that's kind of a problem. I wonder if the EEV is stuck open. That could be a problem. That's going to be my first check. So if we go to program review, monitor, we can see what the settings say. -10. Let's keep going through here. I'm just reading through. Suction saturation. Yeah, I'm going to have to get the panel out to figure out what these codes mean. I can't remember the exact things on them, so.
This video is brought to you by Sporlan, quality, integrity, and tradition.
Alright, so this is our EEV. This also acts as a liquid line solenoid valve. So the temp sensors all seem to be fine. It's registering low temp alarm A2, saying it's 27 in the box. That's reading accurate to my thermometer. So our first step is to make sure that the coil is good on this EEV. I believe should be 150 ohms at 38, 32 degrees, somewhere in there. So across both windings on it, we should have 150 ohms. So I'm gonna disconnect power, then we're gonna get this pulled off and investigate that EEV stator. And you can clearly hear the EEV leaking by with power disconnected from the coil. So we're gonna check this real quick. All right, we're seeing 136 ohms on one. And let's go ahead and switch it over to the other side. And we're seeing 237 ohms on the other. So it looks to me like this stator is shorted internally. So let's go ahead and swap it out. I brought a new one right here. And this is just the EEV stator. So you got to think of it like it's not a solenoid valve. Think of this EXV or EEV as a motor, right? This essentially is the windings of the motor. And this is the rotor right here. So, okay, we're gonna swap this guy out and see what happens. Got the new stator installed. And when I power this back up, it is going to close the valve. You'll hear it. Give it a second. Well, actually, it thinks the valve's already closed, to be honest with you. So, and then now the system should stop running. So before, it thought that it was closing the valve, or it was trying to close the valve, but it wouldn't close because, yeah, it was just all messed up. So now this valve has stopped. And I shut off the condensing unit too, because when I disconnected power, this thing was still open, and we wanted to make sure that nothing funky was going on, right? Because we don't want to run it without evaporator fan motors. So I shut it off at the breaker for the condensing unit, so I need to go turn that back on now. All right, so I can hear the expansion valve moving and opening. I went ahead and turned on the condensing unit, and I simulated a warmer box by grabbing the room temperature sensor and bringing the temp up. So I want to see, it's opening the valve right now, and it should be running the coil. So we could go to monitor and then go to, that's suction pressure, SCP. It's at 48 PSI. So we want to see this box turn on and then turn off, and then make sure that the valve is actually working now. It's obviously going to turn off really quick because it's still super cold in this box. 28 degrees in the box, so it shouldn't run for very long, and then it should shut down completely. So the temp sensor finally caught back up, and it's currently in pump down mode. So we're waiting for it to say off, and then we'll check the EEV steps to see if it's closed all the way, and then we'll look at the suction pressure. Okay, so now it's closed, so we can go to monitor. Superheat, ESP, SCP, 12 PSI. I believe that's pumped down. Let's go ahead and head up top and make sure this condensing unit's off now. This is it right here. We're pumped down, but you can clearly see this compressor's taking a beating, a serious beating, but it's actually shutting off now. So that's a huge plus. So this is a pump down system. EEV acts as the liquid line solenoid valve and as the metering device. So the EEV thought that it was closed. The system thought the EEV was closed when it wasn't, because the stator was bad and it couldn't close it appropriately. So this thing was running slightly open, just ever so slightly. And we're lucky if we don't have compressor damage, but time's gonna have to tell. It's obviously working, and it's shutting off now. So that's a good sign. So at this point, we're gonna watch it for another cycle. So this should be just a simple systems equalizing. Yeah, and it shut right off. That's just refrigerant boiling out of the oil, right? So we are still pumped down. And yeah, so it's just a matter of watching it cycle a few times, make sure everything's good. But hopefully this is just our issue. All right, this system's running. So box temp is still at 30 degrees. It's gonna take a long time for all the product in here to warm up. A lot of it's probably frozen. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and we're gonna tell them to keep an eye on it. These stators, they can fail. I don't necessarily see a problem or anything that caused it to fail as of yet. It seems like it's working, so time will tell. So we'll just keep an eye on it and see if we have any other issues, and I'll call to follow up with the customer a little bit later. Kind of already had a hunch when I got to this service call, or when I was heading to the service call, what it was going to be, because I knew that the system had a QRC evaporator, the quick response controller on it, right? And I knew it had an EEV, and I've seen this problem before where when the EEV stator fails, the valve or the board thinks that the valve is completely shut when it's not, okay? And that is a flaw of the EEV setup when it uses the EEV as the liquid line solenoid valve, right, to shut the flow of the refrigerant off. On the flip side, like, I don't have it happen enough that I have to do this, but you actually do have capabilities on Intelligent, and I believe on QRC, but I know you have it on Intelligent, that if you want to, you can add a actual redundant liquid line solenoid valves just for safety. But it doesn't happen enough. I've only had this happen one other time. No, two other times I've had it happen where the stator has failed, and then it caused the board to think that the system basically was completely off when it wasn't, right? So this call actually happened 2 weeks ago. So far so good. No other issues from the customer after changing the stator. And you see that I actually stock those stators in my vans because I work on a lot of the Heatcraft stuff, right? So I'm pretty familiar with how these systems work. Now, if we start to see consistent failures of the stator, then we might consider changing the EEV itself, looking into the cabling and stuff like that. But I really don't think we're going to have that problem with this. So this was a pretty easy one. I really appreciate you making it to the end of the video. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It's a great way to help support the channel. There's a couple other ways to support the channel if you're interested in doing so. You can go to my website, HVACRvideos.com, where we have merchandise available, such as these hats right here. Great way to support the channel. Family thing, my wife does all the fulfillment. We have all the merch brought into our home basically. Then she inspects it, packages it, ships it, and it's just a great way. So again, HVACRvideos.com. You can also go to PayPal, Patreon, or YouTube channel memberships. Those are all different ways that you can choose to make one-time or monthly commitments to the channel. And last but not least, you can go to TrueTechTools.com. TrueTechTools.com is a online resource where you can pick up a good majority of the HVACR tools that you see me using in my videos. I get most of my stuff from them. So if you go to TrueTechTools.com, you can use my affiliate code, big picture, one word, at checkout, and it will get you a nice discount on checkout, and then I get a small commission when that discount's applied. Now, it doesn't always apply because there's a few items on their website that the discount codes don't apply to, but majority of the items it does. So again, TrueTechTools.com, and the affiliate code is big picture, one word. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you, and hope to catch you on the next one.